Hey there, this is Real Talk Baseball. I'm Carlos Baseline. With me, as always, is WillPower and Tony Snap. We didn't finish the first baseman talk, so we still have our comeback player and bust. So we'll go ahead and do that now, and we'll start with you, Will.
So I think Tony would agree with me on this one. I don't think that he's going to have the same pick as me. Maybe it didn't even cross his mind. But I'm going to say Trey Mancini. We didn't see Trey Mancini at all during the 2020 season. And for those who didn't know, he got cancer. And he was out and he couldn't play. But, I've seen some videos from this guy. His spirits are up. He's looking good, looking healthy. He says he's ready to play in 2021. And before this guy went out, he was really showing signs of greatness, man. He showed some pop. One of the things that we mentioned before about multi-position availability, he has outfield and first base. So that really helps a lot. Same thing with Cody Bellinger, Yeah, man, this guy had a 291 batting average in 2019. Had some really good pop. So, I'm really hoping that this guy comes back and he's able to produce the way that he was 2 years ago.
Is he going to be available though, Will? Is he he doesn't have cancer anymore, or what's?
Well, he's in remission, meaning that it's not getting any worse, and he says that he's going to play in 2021.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too.
Okay.
And he had eligibility as Will said, outfield and first base.
Yeah, exactly. And this guy's going in round 18 in ADP right now.
Is he?
Round 18. If he's available, even if I have a first baseman, I don't care. I'm going to grab this guy. He can go in my utility spot, or he can just sit on my bench. And if he gets hot, just slot him in.
You're like, I will sit him on my bench because I don't need him right now.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what you do, man. That's how you win your leagues. You have so many good players that you're going to have to bench sometimes. I had Christian Yelich one year, and he was in a little slump. And I think it was the year before his MVP season. And every year he's been producing, and I had him on the bench for a few times because my outfield was just stacked, dude. It just happens like that sometimes, and I was trying to make trades, but it just didn't go through. And then by the time that I was actually able to make a trade, the trade deadline was over. So I just had 5 amazing outfielders. That 2 of them were utilities. That was the thing. It's like, do I put Christian Yelich in my utility, or do I put, I don't remember who else it was that I had at the time, but it was like my position players were always very consistent, very good. So
that's a good problem to have then, to have because I see it like, oh man, that's a bad problem to have. You have all these good players, but who am I going to play? Like you said, Mancini, you have him on the bench, and he's a 4-year player, right? Because he didn't play 2020. His average career average is 276. And when I'm looking at his numbers, they look pretty good. You can have him, like you said, you have him at first, and you can have him in the outfield. That's a good situation, right? To have this guy, and you're saying he's a comeback.
Not only that, but because he's on the Orioles, he's AL East. That means that he was playing to have that 276 batting average. He was playing against Yankee pitching, Boston pitching, Rays pitching. Yeah. So going against these elite pitchers that all these other teams have, and to still have that kind of batting average with the pop that he had. It shows you something.
Yeah, and he hit 24 home runs 2 years, and then the last year he played in 2019, he hit 35 home runs, which is really good for fantasy. Tony, do you agree with Will on this one, or?
Oh yeah, I really like his comeback. Actually, I was also thinking of him as a comeback player because it's a great story. Coming back from cancer. Like Will said, it does look like he is going to be playing this coming year.
Yeah.
So having that eligibility at first and outfield, it's definitely a plus. And then definitely going in the later rounds, round 18, that's a steal, man.
Some leagues don't even have round 18.
Yeah, those are like like 18?
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably only go up to 18. Yeah.
Oh.
So it's definitely a steal. I like Trey Mancini. My sleeper, I had a really hard time picking a sleeper.
Oh, this is bounce back.
This is bounce back.
Oh.
Bounce back. Yeah. Bounce back. You're good, man. You're all right. But give us your
the same thing, right?
Almost.
bounce back,
Yeah.
sleeper. I don't know.
It's very similar.
Tell on your social media.
All right. So my comeback player, I guess, it's because what I was kind of going through was I really, it's not really of a comeback. It's more of a breakout for me.
Okay.
And I picked Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I feel like this is going to be the breakout season. I've been picking him up every season, so I'm probably biased, because I'm really hoping for that one season where he hits kind of does what Alonso did, which was like 50 home runs in a season, So
his rookie year.
Exactly. So I'm really hoping, and it was really hard for me to pick a comeback player, I really had a hard time. I don't know how else to explain it. Guerrero, though, I feel like it. So that's why I kind of went with him, just because I feel like it should be a breakout season for him. The Blue Jays are really. They're doing good. Good. They have a lot of young talent. Biggio, Bichette, and then
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it.
No, that's good though. I think that's a good point that you're doing. Like, you want him to break out, and maybe this coming up season will be that breakout season for him. He has a 269 career batting average, which is not too great or not too low either for the 2 seasons that he's been. Because remember, in 2019 they brought him up in the mid-season, right? Because they didn't want to use a full year a service. So then last year it was only 60 games. So maybe he'll pick. He did win the home run derby in 2019. Remember? Did he win it, or he battled it out with Jock Peterson? I think.
Yeah, he battled it out with Jock Peterson. I don't think he won.
He didn't win, but it was just amazing watching him swing that bat though. They were going back and forth with Jock Peterson, I remember. And yeah, that was his rookie season. And then last year, because of the 60 game season, we didn't see him warm up as much as we thought we were going to see him.
Well, another thing too, I don't know if you guys have seen, but he's lost like 30-40 pounds. Just since this past season.
And he's playing in the Dominican League, right? In the Winter League.
And he's tearing it up over there, hitting bombs left and right.
Yeah.
And so this past season, he played third, first, and some DH. So what's it going to be next season? Now, like I'm asking Tony, just because earlier you said you didn't want to pick LeMahieu and Bellinger because of that wasn't their primary position. They play other stuff. They're just eligible at first. So does that mean that Vlad is going to be primary first base?
I feel like he is. I feel like the Blue Jays kind of just. I know maybe he feels more comfortable at first.
He's not a good third baseman, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, no, he is pretty good. I mean, that's where he came up.
To be a major leaguer, you have to be good. But
yeah.
But I'm hoping that they have a better option.
I feel like that's why they moved him over, though. You know what I mean? Like, they want him to concentrate more on hitting right now.
Yeah.
That's why they brought him up, because his average, his pop, his power, all of it.
Like his dad.
Exactly. So I feel like maybe they just did like a transition, and that's probably why I stuck with him at first. I know he I don't know if he'll have the eligibility this coming season.
Two different positions or 3?
Yeah. Okay. But as far as first base goes, I feel like that's where he should be at. He has that raw power where he fits more like a first baseman to me. He has that body. He's big. Yeah. And it's less taxing on the body. As far as third base goes. Because let's be honest, he is kind of big for a third baseman. The only other third basemen that come to mind that were that big were like Adrian Beltre,
Pablo Sandoval,
Uribe, exactly. And they were great too.
Yeah, Ken Caminiti was huge, man. He had those huge ass for the Padres.
Rafael Devers too. He's
exactly. Yeah. But Rafael Devers, I feel like is a little bit smaller than.
He's shorter, But he's stocky. He's
stocky.
built like a catcher. I think he's built like a catcher. He plays third base.
Yeah. But I just feel like the Blue Jays are gonna move him over. Like they did with Biggio. Biggio was supposed to be their second baseman, and now he plays outfield.
He plays outfield.
I think they're gonna do the same with Bichette, man, because Bichette's defense. It's not very good. I think that was the problem with the left side of the infield. Like third base, Guerrero, it's not like he had a bad glove or a bad arm. He just didn't have the range to get to the balls that were hit, left or right. When most third basemen, they can at least move, 5 feet to either side. I think Guerrero's more like 3 or 4. Not everyone could be like Machado or Renato and jump 10 feet either side and you make this amazing play,
Yeah.
But for Vlad, I think he just doesn't have the movement to stay at the hot corner. So I agree. I think he's better at first base. And then going along with Bichette, I think that's one thing that they have to think about also, that I think Bichette should actually move over to second base just because his defense is lacking too.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens with the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are looking to get a lot better. They've been in the talks with all these free agents recently.
They're making moves.
They're gonna make some
they
moves.
Look like they're trying. So
yeah. So I wouldn't surprise me that Vlad will be first baseman. His primary position will be first base, which is what you're talking about, Tony. And maybe he does have a great breakout year. But you mentioned someone that I thought like maybe he would have been top 3, and none of you guys picked him. Pete Alonso, what's wrong with him? I mean, he was on his rookie year, he hit 52 home runs, 53 home runs,
and he hit 16 last year, which is probably not that bad.
It's not that bad in the 60 game season. And then his batting average was a little low, right? And then his strikeouts, you guys say it's not that the strikeouts don't really matter as much if he's producing home runs and he's getting RBIs. He got 120 RBIs his rookie season. And then, see, that's the thing. Like, we can't really compare the 60 game season to 162 game season. It's kind of hard to do that, right? So you're looking at these numbers from the 2019. Do you think that's a fluke? You really can't say that much about him. He's only been on the
to be honest, yeah. To be honest, I like consistency more and a little more.
I'm sorry, I kind of blacked out. Sorry. All right, jump in. My bad. Go ahead.
Okay, so to be honest, I feel like I lean more towards consistency. And Pete Alonso's last 2 years, his rookie year, of course, was amazing, but last year, I feel like I just didn't have it together. Towards the end of the season, he probably did come along and come into his own stride and got a lot more loose at the plate.
Yeah.
But as far as it goes, for me, I don't want to say it was a fluke, because I kind of almost feel like he is a top 5, or maybe just hitting that top 5. But there's just so many good players in front of him too.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? That's why he's not in my top 3. Yeah, he has pop, but so does Goldschmidt. So does Rizzo.
That's the thing with Alonso is that's all he has is pop. And that's good for real baseball, because you could slot him in your cleanup position or, number 5, and he's going to get a lot of RBIs. I mean, 2019, he had 120 RBI in his rookie season. That's amazing. Yeah. Anything over 100 and you're considered elite at a power, in the power aspect. But I can't decide if I like this guy or not. It's only been 2 seasons. I haven't seen enough from him. The first season when he hit 53 home runs, amazing power, but a 253 batting average. And then 2020, he hit 16 home runs, which is only 2 less than the National League leader. But then you look at his batting average and it's 231. So, I mean, he's definitely not going to be a good source of batting average. He's going to bring the batting average down low. And in a categories league, that's very important, because batting average is one of the categories, unless you have on base percentage instead. Yeah. But even though on base percentage, his on-base percentage was 358 in his rookie season, that's pretty good. 358 for a full season. That's nothing to knock on at all. But then 326 in 2020, it dropped 30 points. I need something higher than 326, and I think he's a little bit closer to the 326 than he is to the 358. Same thing with the batting average. I think he's going to be a consistent like 240 to 250 hitter with some really good pop. But when all you're bringing to the table is just home runs and RBIs, that's a big problem for me, because in categories leagues, you have 6 different categories that you're trying to get production from. And if he had one more category that he would bring to the table, then it would definitely boost his value a little bit higher. But that's one of the reasons why I have Goldschmidt higher than him, because at least Goldschmidt's going to hit 280. 280 is a hell of a lot better than 250.
Yeah, so, that's good. Really good point, Squill, too. Like, he's only been in the league 2 years. He's not a bad pick by any means, right? He's not a bad pick. If all the first basemen are gone, the guys you guys have mentioned, would he be a bad pick? Would he be someone that you guys will go for after? So the question I should be asking is, who would you pick Pete Alonso after they had taken that one first baseman that you guys feel like, okay, now I need to go ahead and pick Pete Alonso? Do you guys know, or is it like I know first basements are hard to pick, and
I don't know. To be honest, Pete Alonso is more like a.
Not even.
I know people are gonna be mad at me, like.
But go ahead and say it. It's fine.
But it's like round 60. I mean, round 6, round 70.
60, man. That's not even in the.
No. Well, like his ranking overall, I guess like 60 or 70. To me. But like in ESPN, they have him up in like 3, like in round 3.
Yeah. And I don't agree with that at all.
No.
Okay.
A lot of these leagues like to show rankings when it comes to points leagues, and even in
not
points,
a good pick,
man, he strikes out a lot and he doesn't get on base a lot. So I don't know where their rankings are coming from just because of the home runs. I don't know if you get 15 points for a home run in the leagues that they're running, but for me, I think he's like close to like a top 10, maybe right outside my top 10. I don't have my rankings in front of me right now, but I think for me, he'd be more of like around 8.
Yeah, I like Luke Voigt better than him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I like Luke Voigt a lot.
Luke Voigt has the same power production, but at least he's going to hit 270, 280. Matt Olson too. Matt Olson's going to hit 265-ish, and he's on a better team. See, that's the thing. I mean, eventually the Mets are going to come into their own and start producing a little bit better. But for right now, because they haven't really been producing because the bats just aren't there. I mean, you look, they just lost Cano. They don't really have a good outfield. They're in rebuild mode right now. All they have is starting pitching. And, that doesn't matter when it comes to Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso needs some guys to get on base in front of him. And then he needs some guys behind him that are also going to hit him in. And if he doesn't square up on the ball a little bit more, I think that's the issue with Pete Alonso.
That's the downfall for Pete Alonso. Well, I mean, I just felt curious in asking you guys, because I know Pete Alonso is one of the top first basemen right out there, and everybody's keeps talking about him because he's with the Mets, and the Mets are kind of trying to sign this big contract with these players if they go ahead and get George Springer, but that's another topic, right? But if you're what you're saying is if they go ahead and get guys that get on base in front of him, then maybe he can be one of the top, right? Because
he's going to get a lot more RBIs like that. His batting average won't suffer so much because if there's a guy on third and he hits, a fly ball to right field, then you get an RBI and it doesn't affect your batting average at all. So that'll help in that aspect. I mean, who was hitting in front of him the past couple seasons that
I mean, Cano was there in 2019.
Cano was amazing. In his rookie season, just because of the steroids, I guess. I mean, real talk, right?
Yeah, real talk. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, that was our segment on Pete Alonso. I think it went pretty long. I just wanted to ask, and it's pretty cool though, because we giving the viewers what we think, and that's, you guys are saying that he shouldn't even go one of the top five.
And I don't know if we should just cut it ahead, because he was actually my bust.
He was your bust?
Yeah, definitely. Pete Alonso, the ESPN and a lot of other, rankings have him in the third round or top like 30 to 40. Boo, exactly.
Yeah.
To me, that is, we've only seen one good year out of him, because 2020 we can't really chop up as to nothing. I
don't really count 2020 stats at all, honestly.
Exactly.
Don't say that, Will. Don't say that. Wait. Don't say that. Don't say that, because then they're gonna be like, don't count the World Series. Like, the World Series don't count. Oh man, I had so many arguments with people on TikTok, dude. Oh my god, man. They're saying that the season shouldn't count, and that this and this and that, and I'm over there putting on there that, like, well, the stats don't count either then.
Hey, all I have to say to those people is when it came to playoffs, it was still the same amount of games.
Well, another thing also is you're talking about the team. The team playing. It's individual stats are completely different than the team winning games. You could have the best player in the league. You could have Mike Trout, right? And he could slump throughout the whole year, but even if he doesn't produce in the playoffs, if the Angels are good, they're still going to win. So individual stats for players, it doesn't really matter that much. It's all about the team effort. Baseball is the only sport, in my opinion, where one guy is not going to win it all for you. You could have Tom Brady as your quarterback, and he's going to win every single game for you just because he's that good. You could have LeBron on your team, and he could just take the ball every time, and he could score, 60 points a game, and he's going to win the game for you. But baseball's not like that. Maybe sometimes it is with starting pitching. If you throw a no-hitter or something like that.
I think I would have picked Kobe Bryant, though. Sorry, man. I would trust Kobe Bryant. Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah, I mean, I would trust Kobe Bryant over LeBron James for sure. But I understand what you're saying. I understand everything. Current. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I've been having these arguments with people on TikTok, and they're going like, "Nah, the World Series don't count," and I just go like, "Well, the stats don't count either," and that's where they shut up, So I don't know. It's hard to determine, right? It's hard to say this 60-game season. It's hard to pick out players. You're looking at previous years, and because Pete Alonso has that 1 year, and it was his rookie season. It's kind of hard to say, okay, he is going to be a solid pick.
But all these supposed experts are putting them in their top 3.
Yeah.
Basically round 3.
This is the thing with him. In 2 years from now, if he has back-to-back seasons where he hits 50 home runs in 2021 and 2022, then yeah, I'll start raising him up a little bit, because that's consistency. I know that for sure he's going to get 50 home runs from me. And fantasy, whether it's categories or points, that's huge. Yeah. That's more than one home run every week, So, I just need to have a bigger sample size. He had 1.5, not even 1.5 seasons, because he had one full season and then a 60-game season. So it's not enough for me to really determine if I really consider him that, elite power hitter or not.
All right. Well, there you have it. That's the sleeper Tony has. We said we were talking about.
No, it was my bus. He was my bus.
That was your bus, actually. Yeah. And I went ahead and just, brought Pete Alonso out, and Tony said that was his bus. Like, so let's just move on to the bus. Will, like,
who's your bus?
Who's your bus, dude? Like,
all right, man.
And I hope Tony's like mad at this one.
my bus is gonna be, I think he was your number 3 overall, and that's Jose Abreu.
He's my number 2.
Number two.
Oh, there you go. All right, look, let me tell you why. Jose Abreu, for me, he's a great player. He's a great first baseman. He's a good source of batting average, good source of pop, but I think he's just going way too early. He is going in early round 3. And for a guy that's going to hit, where is it at? 33 home runs with, a 300 batting average, that's really good. But to go in round 3, man, there's so many other players that I'd rather have than Jose Abreu.
Ooh. So Jose Abreu is your bust, and
Jose Abreu is my bust only because he's going so early. If he was going at the end of round 4 or even mid round 4,
what'd you say?
Look. So Jose Abreu is going number 34 overall, right? Yeah. So round 3, I mean that's really early for me, man. If I don't get Freddie Freeman in the first round, like at the first second turnaround, I'm probably not going to draft a first baseman until probably like round 5 or 6 or so. Okay. There's so many other players that are going to produce way better than Jose Abreu. At that time, at that point in the draft.
On that part of the round, you're meaning, right?
At that part of the round, exactly.
Okay.
Where I could easily let someone else take Abreu, and then I can go ahead and get Luke Voit, 2 rounds later, who's going to have a lot more pop with a little less batting average.
I don't know about a lot more.
So look, so Will, you're coming from not from a points league, you're coming from a different side of the league, right? And you're looking at average, you're looking at strikeouts, you're looking at home runs, you're looking at walks, you're looking at
strikeouts don't really matter in categories league unless you have that as a category. Usually in categories leagues, you don't have any negative categories for him.
Okay, so you have the on base percentage for sure, right?
On base percentage. So usually it's either batting average or on base percentage. Sometimes it's both. I prefer to do batting average and then a separate category of walks. But sometimes I let the league vote and decide if they want to do that or if they want to do on base percentage. All
right, man. So I have a question for you, since your categories league, and this is for the viewers too, so you can give them. It's not a lot of pressure, man. I hope it's not a lot of pressure. But the on base percentage, where is your line where you say this is not the guy that I need to get? I'm seeing his on base percentage, and if I'm right, hopefully I did listen. You said if he's under that 325, you won't pick him, right?
320.
Okay.
Depends on the round. Depends on the round. Yeah. And the player.
Okay. So this guy, Jose Abreu, he hasn't gone under 325 on base percentage. I'm just throwing that out there because I kind of do agree with Tony not being a bust.
What?
But that's
crazy.
I'm just looking at his numbers, dude, and I'm like, wow. Like, I mean, maybe he would have. I don't know. Keep telling me why. Like, why?
Right,
why not?
This is another thing. Also,
I know you're saying. I know you're saying because the third round. I think the third round is not a good round for him.
Look at his home runs, bro.
Yes, look at his home runs. I see it. And the White Sox are really good, and
exactly. People are going to get on base in front of him.
If he stays healthy, his production is going to even go up higher. But he's also going to be 34 years old when the season starts.
Hey, is that one of the things though? Does he get injured a lot?
He doesn't really get injured a lot. I mean, he has. In 2019, he played 159 games, which is only 3 shy of a full season. The year before that, he played 128. I don't know what happened. Why
156,
he 159.
Yeah.
But then.
Hey, I'm just saying he's consistent. I don't.
He is
understand.
really consistent, but I mean, age gets to you.
See the way Will was picking his players. Hold on,
Nelson Cruz.
The way Will is picking his players, and I like his strategy, and I can see why he's saying this is a bust, because he's looking at the round, and he's looking not only at the round, but he's looking at versatility too for this player. You could only use him as DH, and you could only use him as first base, right? Is he a DH too? Yeah. So you're looking at a player at first base where you can go ahead and get more for that value. And at third round, right? I don't think you can get other players that are more, right?
You can get not multi-eligibility, but Aaron Judge. I'd rather have Aaron Judge than Jose Abreu, honestly.
No way.
Yeah.
Dude, Aaron Judge is like so injury prone.
He is really injury prone.
Why would you pick him up? What, so he can play like 30 games? 60 games? Are you kidding me? Jose Abreu, who has played 159, 128, 156 games. Like, dude, I can go on and on about Jose Abreu. He's the most underrated first baseman ever. The closest thing to Freddie Freeman you're gonna get to.
So this is heated, and I like it.
Bust? I'm gonna leave.
Hold on. No, I just got to throw this on there. I like it though. I like it. I
overlook Voigt. I don't know. See, it's gonna be good to play this coming fantasy baseball.
It is, because you guys are against each other, which is really. Look, I'm looking at it at both sides. I can't agree with Will. I can't agree with Tony because I have to be biased. I can, whatever. So, but I do understand from where Will started from the beginning of the show. He started saying that he likes the versatility of the player. He chose two players out of position for first base, which is LeMahieu and Bellinger, which is a really interesting strategy to use in fantasy.
It's the best strategy.
Exactly. That's really good. And right now he's saying on the third round for Abreu, it won't be something that he's looking for, because I think there's other third rounders that he would like to pick to fill his positions. So Tony, the question is for you. Do you pick him in the third round? Do you pick him earlier? Do you pick him later for Abreu?
If I'm in the third round and I'm like, let's say late in the third round, like 37, 38, yes, I'm going to pick him up, because he should be going in round 4, no later than round 5.
Okay.
If he's in, like, if you're in round 5 and Jose Abreu is still there, dude, you guys are you're going to lose.
He should not be there in round 5. If I have the last pick of round 3 and he's still there, then yes, I'm gonna get him. But okay. I think that at number 34, it's just a little bit too early for me.
You heard it here first. Tony Snap and WillPower gave their picks. For the next show, we have the sleepers, so you might want to tune in to that show. But for now, go ahead and subscribe and like this video. I'm Carlos Baseball. This is WillPower and Tony Snap. Real Talk Baseball, signing out.